So I have a few comments on what's been said. Here's a generational difference. I get it that computers and software and humans are the future, but I don't get how to do that because I don't get the technology of it, although I've seen demonstrations of it that blow my mind. So for me, it's still the old-fashioned just bring people together. But that works too. But I want to go back to what Melanie and Bob said, which is, yes, we have these understandings, but we haven't ever been given a language for them, or nobody's named them for us so we could go, aha. So that's where I started. 3 years ago, I brought systems people together to say, we're going to Washington, we're going to the policy community, we want to introduce this way of thinking because, why? Because what we know, if you've ever read any of Donella Meadows' work on systems, she's one of the pioneers of systems thinking, she actually lists different levels of intervention in a system or leverage points in a system where you can make a difference in the system, and the highest level is changing the mindset, right? So we brought people from many different fields of systems thinking and said we have to synthesize this wisdom and simplify it so that people can get it right away, even if it's just a spark that they get. And that's how we came up with these 12 simple rules. And my experience in using these for the last almost 3 years in Washington is that this does give people a language that they can go, well, yeah, I know that. Well, of course. And that's the best kind of learning in my experience, is when people recognize something that they already knew, rather than, oh, that's new, that's hard, I have to put my mind around that. No, I knew that. Why do we know that? Because we are living systems. So I found that being able to articulate the principles very, very simply can go anywhere and be helpful. And just to give you an example, 2 years ago, February, we had a one-day event with key people from Department of Defense, Department of State, big NGOs, and philanthropies, and systems thinkers. And we spent the day looking at the application of systems thinking to weapons of mass destruction, climate change, and food security. And we use these 12 simple rules as kind of the start of the conversation. There are many things that came out of that, but one of the things that came out of that is that the ambassador at the State Department, Bonnie Jenkins, who is tasked with coordinating all of the governmental and intergovernmental activities around keeping weapons of mass destruction out of the hands of rogue actors, she heard these rules and she said, yeah, I know this. This is what I try to do, but I never had words for it before. So that started a conversation between us that led over the last year and a half to her convening, bringing the people together from all the different sectors of the U.S. government and then NGOs, ultimately leading to a 2-day conference for 200 people last May, and a handbook of who's doing what. And what was created in that process, if we step back and take the bigger look, is that the system started to recognize itself as a system. That the system became self-reflective, integrative, and learning. And it all grew out of people recognizing the obvious. We need to talk to each other. We are connected. This first one is what we've been talking about a lot this morning. If everything is interconnected, therefore connect what is disconnected. Let's take 1 or 2 more comments and go to break. We'll give you the last word, but let's see if there's anybody else here. Anyone?
I guess not to always bring this back to the sort of political intersection, but definitely as an institution, our government, but where I work in Congress, has reached its cognitive threshold a long time ago. And the political interests are very invested in its dysfunction. And in fact, if you have sort of cognitive complexity versus cognitive simplicity, or cognitive closure, in fact, is what we call it in social psychology, serving very, and Congress is not broken for certain people. Everybody likes to say it's broken. No, it's not. It works great for a lot of people. And so I'm thinking, what I worry about, and what actually makes me angry at my own community that was academic, is that we've never been intentional about our own effectiveness. Sounds harsh, but in politics, relationships will leverage technology. Technology is not going to leverage the relationships, ever. Not in politics. And so I'm wondering what we can do to create almost a piece of this movement that's ideological. That's a system of ideas that moves power. I think we can talk about this until the end of time, and it will matter because the power is diffuse and redistributing constantly right now, and our people aren't organized in a way to make that power institutionally acceptable to the people who have the energy. And I specifically mean right now Occupy Wall Street. They're real rejectionists about any kind of, they're kind of benign and anarchists. I don't know what else to say. And I've gone to a lot of these speakeasies, and I'm definitely the Yoda in the room. There is no try. But it's upsetting to me in a way, because I feel like my age group, which is Generation X, has been so missing in action on creating that bridge between the 25-year-olds and the 65-year-olds. And I don't know how to make up for it. So I'd be really interested in figuring out how to make up for it.